Hello everybody, Eric again. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Let's read about Weird Al Yankovic. Alfred Matthew Weird Al Yankovic, born October 23rd, 1959, is an American musician, singer, songwriter, and actor. He is best known for writing and performing comedy songs that often parody specific songs by contemporary musicians. He also performs original songs that are style pastiches of the work of other acts, as well as polka medleys of popular songs, most of which feature his trademark accordion, since having one of his comedy songs aired on the Dr. Demento radio show in 1976 at age 16. Yankovic has sold more than 12 million albums as of 2025, recorded more than 150 parodies and original songs, and performed more than 2,000 live shows. Yankovic's success has been attributed to his effective use of music videos to further parody pop culture, the song's original artists, and the original music videos themselves. He has directed some of his own music videos and also directed music videos for other artists, including Ben Folds, Hanson, the Black Crowes, and the Presidents of the United States of America. With the decline of music television and the onset of social media, he used YouTube and other video sites to publish his videos. This strategy helped boost sales of his later albums. He has not released a full album since Monetary Fund, opting instead for timely releases of singles. Yankovic's work has earned him 5 Grammy Awards and a further 11 nominations, 4 gold records, and 6 platinum records in the U.S. His first top 10 Billboard album, Straight Out of Glenwood, and single White and Nerdy, were both released in 2006, nearly 3 decades into his career. His 14th studio album, Mandatory Fun 2014, became his first #1 album during its debut week. In addition to his music career, Yankovic wrote and starred in the film UHF 1999 and the television series The Weird Al Show 1997. He has produced 2 satirical films about his own life, The Complete AI 1985 and Weird Al Yankovic The Complete Al, 1995, and Weird the Al, Yankovic Story, 2022. He has appeared in various television shows and web series, in addition to starring in Al TV specials on MTV. He has also written 2 children's books, When I Grow Up, 2011, and My New Teacher and Me, 2013. Early life. Alfred Matthew Yankovic was born in Downey, California on October 23, 1959, the only child of Mary Elizabeth née Novalda, 1923 to 2004, and Nick Yankovic, 1917 to 2004. He was raised in nearby Linwood, California. His father, who was born in the Strawberry Hill neighborhood of Kansas City, Kansas, was of Slovene and Croatian descent. Nick Yankovic was the son of Matthew Yankovic, Baptist Majica Jankovic, 1887 to 1969, who was born in Wendendorf, Austria-Hungary, now Bedinj, Slovenia, and Mary Yankovic, née Braj, 1890 to 1968, also born in Austria-Hungary, in what is now Croatia. Nick Yankovic began living in California after earning 2 Purple Hearts for his service as a medic during World War II. He believed the key to success was doing for a living whatever makes you happy, and often reminded his son of this philosophy. Yankovic's mother, a stenographer from Kentucky of English and Italian descent, married his father in 1949. She moved to California a decade before Yankovic was born. Yankovic's first accordion lesson, which sparked his interest in music, took place on the day before his 7th birthday. A door-to-door salesman traveling through Linwood offered his parents a choice of accordion or guitar lessons at a local music school. Yankovic claims that his parents chose the accordion over the guitar because they figured there should be at least one more accordion-playing Yankovic in the world. This was in reference to Frankie Yankovic, to whom he is not related. He has also said that they chose the accordion because they were convinced it would revolutionize rock, since his mother did not let him outside the house often. He had plenty of time to practice the instrument at home. He continued lessons at the music school for 3 years before deciding to continue learning on his own. In the 1970s, Yankovic was a big fan of Elton John and cites John's 1973 album Goodbye Yellow Brick Road as one of the reasons he learned to play rock and roll on the accordion. As for his influences in comedy and parody music, he has listed artists including Stan Freberg, Spike Jones, Tom Lehrer, Ellen Sherman, Shel Silverstein, and Frank Zappa, as well as all the other wonderfully sick and twisted artists. He found, through the Dr. Demento radio show, other sources of inspiration for his comedy came from Mad Magazine, the British comedy troupe, Monty Python, and the Zucker Abrahams and Zucker films. He had also enjoyed George Carlin's stand-up comedy album, FM and AM, so much that he transcribed it by typewriter. Yankovic began kindergarten a year earlier than most children and skipped second grade, later saying, "My classmates seemed to think I was some kind of rocket scientist, so I was labeled a nerd early on." He attended Linwood High School, where his unusual schooling experience meant he was 2 years younger than most of his classmates. He was not interested in sports or social events, but was active in other extracurricular programs, including the National Forensic League sanctioned public speaking events, a play based on Rebel Without a Cause, the yearbook for which he wrote most of the captions, and the Volcano Worshippers Club, which he later said did absolutely nothing and was started just to get an extra picture of themselves in the yearbook. He graduated in 1976 and was valedictorian of his senior class. He attended California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo, earning a bachelor's degree in architecture. After graduation, he worked at Westwood One, first in the mailroom, and then calling stations confirming that paid advertisements had indeed went on air. Career, 1976 to 1981. Dr. Demento in early fame. Yankovic's music received its first on-air exposure via syndicated comedy radio personality Dr. Demento's Southern California-based show, later saying, if there hadn't been a Dr. Demento, he'd probably have a real job now, despite his mother having caught him listening to Dr. Demento's program and banning him from listening to it again. He found ways to do it discreetly. In 1976, Dr. Demento spoke at Yankovic's school, where the 16-year-old gave him a homemade cassette tape of original and parody songs on accordion and recorded in Yankovic's bedroom into a cheesy little tape recorder. The tape's first song, Belvedere Cuisine, about his family's Plymouth Belvedere, was played on Demento's radio show, launching Yankovic's career. Demento said, Belvedere Cuisine might not have been the very best song I ever heard, but it had some clever lines. I put the tape on the air immediately. Yankovic also played at local coffee houses, accompanied by fellow dorm resident Joe Miller on bongos. He recalled in 2007, it was sort of like amateur music night, and a lot of people were like wannabe Dan Fogelbergs. They get up on stage with their acoustic guitar and do these lovely ballads, and I would get up with my accordion and play the theme from 2001, and people were kind of shocked that I would be disrupting their mellow Thursday night folk fest. During Yankovic's second year as an architecture student at Cal Poly St. Louis Obispo, he became a disc jockey at KCPR, the university's radio station. Yankovic had been called Weird Al, originally as a more derogatory nickname by others in his dormitory, since he was seen as the strange outcast compared to other residents. Though he initially took it as an insult, Yankovic eventually took it on professionally as his persona for the station. In 1978, he released his first recording as Alfred Yankovic, Take Me Down, on the LP Slow Ground. As a benefit for the Economic Opportunity Commission of St. Louis Obispo County, the song mocked famous nearby landmarks such as Bubblegum Alley and the waterfall toilets at the Madonna Inn. In mid-1979, shortly before his senior year, My Sharona by the Knack was on the charts. Yankovic took his accordion into the restroom across the hall from the radio station to take advantage of the echo chamber acoustics and recorded a parody titled My Bologna. He sent the recording to Dr. Demento, who played it to a positive listener response. Yankovic met the Knack after a show at his college and introduced himself as the author of My Bologna. The Knack's lead singer, Doug Fedger, said he liked the song and suggested that Capitol Records vice president Rupert Perry release it as a single. My Bologna was released with School Cafeteria as its B-side, and the label gave Yankovic a 6-month recording contract. Yankovic, who was only getting average grades in his agriculture degree, began to realize that he might take a career of comedic music. On September 14, 1980, Yankovic was a guest on the Dr. Demento show, where he was to record a new parody live. The song was called Another One Bites the Bus, a parody of Queen's hit Another One Bites the Dust. While practicing the song outside the sound booth, he met John Bermuda Schwartz, who told him he was a drummer and agreed to bang on Yankovic's accordion case to help Yankovic keep a steady beat during the song. They rehearsed the song just a few times before the show began. Another One Rides the Bus became so popular that Yankovic's first television appearance was a performance of the song on The Tomorrow Show with Tom Schneider on April 21st, 1981. On the show, Yankovic played his accordion, and again, Schwartz banged on the accordion case and provided comical sound effects. Yankovic's record label, TK Records, went bankrupt about 2 weeks after the single was released, so Yankovic received no royalties from its initial release. In 1981 to 1989, Fame and Fame. In 1981, Yankovic went on tour for the first time as part of Dr. Demento's stage show. His stage act in a Phoenix, Arizona nightclub caught the eye of manager Jay Levy, who was blown away. Levy asked Yankovic if he had considered creating a full band and doing his music as a career. Yankovic admitted that he had, so Levy held auditions. Steve J became Yankovic's bass player, and Jay's friend Jim West played guitar. Schwartz continued on drums. Yankovic's first show with his new band was on March 31st, 1982. Several days later, Yankovic and his band were the opening act for Missing Person. Yankovic recorded I Love Walking Road, Walkie Road, the parody I Love Walking Road, originally recorded by the Arrows, which was produced by Rick Duringer. In 1982, the song was a hit on Top 40 radio, leading to Yankovic's singing with Scotty Brothers Records. In 1983, Yankovic's first self-titled album was released on Scotty Bros. The song Ricky, a parody of Tony Basel's hit Nicky, was released as a single, and the music video received exposure on the still young MTV. Ricky broke the top 100 videos on MTV at the time, which Yankovic took as a sign that his career was in music, quitting his job as a mailroom clerk at the local offices of Westwood One to pursue the music career. Yankovic released his second album, Weird Al Yankovic, in 3D in 1984. The first single, Eat It, a parody of the Michael Jackson song Beat It, became popular thanks in part to the music video, a shot-for-shot parody of Jackson's Beat It music video, and what Yankovic sarcastically described as his uncanny resemblance to Jackson. Yankovic said he felt he had become an overnight success once the video for Eat It aired on MTV, as both the song and video, as well as Jackson's approval for the parody, drew attention to him from other musicians and made it easier for him to obtain permissions to use other songs. Eat It was also aided by the first of Yankovic's AL-TV specials that aired on MTV on April 1st, 1994. The network looking to Yankovic's rising popularity to help fill its programming time, peaking at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 on April 14, 1994. Eat It remained Yankovic's highest charting single until White and Nerdy placed at number 9 in October 2006. In Canada, Eat It reached number 5. In 1985, Yankovic co-wrote and starred in a mockumentary of his own life titled The Complete Owl, the title being a parody of the 1982 documentary The Complete Beatles, which intertwined the facts of his life up to that point with fiction. The film also features some clips from Yankovic's trip to Japan and some clips from the LTV specials. The Complete Owl was co-directed by Jay Levy, who would direct UHF 4 years later. Also released around the same time as The Complete Owl was The Authorized Owl, a biographical book based on the film. The book, resembling a scrapbook, included real and fictional numerous photographs and documents. Yankovic and his band toured as the opening act for the Monkees in mid-1987 for their second reunion tour of North America. Yankovic claims to have enjoyed touring with the Monkees, even though he said that the promoter cheated them out of a bunch of money. In 1988, Yankovic was the narrator of the Wendy Carlos recording of Sergei Prokofyev's Peter and the Wolf. The album also included a sequel to Camille Saint-Saëns's composition, The Carnival of the Animals, titled The Carnival of the Animals Part 2, with Yankovic providing humorous poems for each of the featured creatures in the style of Ogden Nash, who had written numerous poems for the original. That year, Yankovic made his theatrical film debut with a cameo appearance in the film Tapehead, starring as himself. This was followed by a cameo appearance in The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, also in 1988. Yankovic's success led to a deal to make his film UHF, which premiered in July 1989. While the film has since become a cult title, its initial release was against Metacritic reviews, and it was up against several other summer blockbusters, including Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Ghostbusters 2, Batman, and License to Kill, while Yankovic released an associated soundtrack album, UHF, Original Motion Picture Soundtrack, and other stuff. It was not as successful as his previous albums. Yankovic fell into a slump over the next 3 years as a result of the poor performance of the film. In 1990 to 1997 revived career, Yankovic had returned to the studio to prepare songs for his next album, Off the Deep End, around 1990. During production, Ruben Ventura joined the band on the keyboards in 1991, allowing Yankovic to concentrate more on singing and increasing his use of the stage space during concerts. Further, Yankovic took over production from Rick Derringer in 1992. While Derringer had produced 6 of Yankovic's previous albums, for which he won 2 Grammy Awards. Derringer's drug-related issues had become a problem, along with Yankovic's increasingly more complex musical vision, involving horns and other instruments. By 1992, most of the original songs for Off the Deep End were complete, but Yankovic still did not have a strong parody and was waiting for the next big hit to work from, as he was still in a slump post UHF. When Jackson released his next album, Dangerous, and its hit single, Black or White, Yankovic had quickly written a parody, Snack All Night from it, and hoped Jackson would allow him to use the parody. Jackson denied Yankovic this, as Jackson felt Black or White carried a serious message that would be undermined by the parody. Around this time, Nirvana and the grunge music scene began to take off. Yankovic wrote a parody of Nirvana's hit, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Smells Like Nirvana, and was able to secure the band's permission for the parody. Nirvana's lead singer, Kurt Cobain, reportedly said that getting Yankovic to parody their work was a sign their band had made it. Smells Like Nirvana became the lead song on Off the Deep End, landing at number 35 on the Billboard charts, his second top 40 hit in the United States. Off the Deep End reached number 17 on the Billboard 200 and helped to revolutionize Yankovic's career after the failure of UHF. Yankovic's next 2 studio albums were modest successes in Lights Off the Deep End. Off the Deep End, Ellapalooza was released in 1993 and led with Jurassic Park, a spoof of MacArthur Park by Richard Harris, while mocking the 1993 film of the same name. Ellapalooza peaked at number 46 on the Billboard 200. Bad Hair Day in 1996, headlined with Amish Paradise, a parody of Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. Amish Paradise reached number 53 on the top Billboard Hot 100 singles, while the album reached number 14 on the Billboard 200, and eventually was certified double platinum in sales by RIAA, making it one of Yankovic's more successful works. In addition, Yankovic released a number of compilation works during this period, including Permanent Record, All in the Box, a 4-CD collection, which included most of Yankovic's previous works, as well as the informational booklet with contributions from Dr. Demento. Other compilations included Greatest Hits Volume 2, a collection of songs that were not included on Permanent Record, and the TV album, featuring songs loosely based on television shows. Bye for now!